विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सखगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सखगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्णा सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम। Hare Krishna. By Lord Sri Krishna's causeless mercy, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita every day, and we finished 26 slokas in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So now only 2 more slokas to finish this chapter, this 8th chapter, that is attaining the Supreme. So how to go to Krishna's world. So this Bhagavad Gita, the next chapter is called the most confidential knowledge. The 9th chapter, it has got 34 slokas. So 8th chapter has got 28 slokas. So the 9th chapter is called the most confidential knowledge. Each and every sloka in 9th chapter, we are going to get so much of knowledge. It's so much of knowledge Krishna is going to give us. This Bhagavad Gita is full of knowledge. Every sloka, in each and every sloka, Krishna is giving all this knowledge we cannot get from anywhere else. And nobody can even write, nobody can create this knowledge in this material world. We cannot, there is no way we can ourselves find out this knowledge ourselves with any research or anything. So because this is the knowledge about ourself, Atma, which we cannot see, which we cannot perceive through our senses, because our senses are have limited, senses have limitations basically. So with our limited senses, we cannot, there is no way we can understand about ourselves. So only with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we are getting this, we are understanding about ourselves. And we are also understanding about Krishna, the Super Soul. And also we are understanding that we should go to Krishna's abode. And Krishna is giving a complete instruction, full knowledge that about how to reach him and how to become a yogi. So becoming a yogi, only we can reach him. And to become a yogi, we have to do our activities in such a way that we should not be disturbed by the results of our activities. And every day, every moment, we are doing activities, the karma. And in the beginning, in order to become a yogi, we need to perform our duty. And after we become yogi, then we need not do any activity. That's why Krishna is saying that Aruruksher Muner Yogam Karma Karanam Uchchadi. So without doing karma, without doing an action, without doing our activities, our duties, without doing our duties, we cannot become a yogi. So also without controlling our mind, we cannot become a yogi. So that means in order to become a yogi, we need to control our mind and we need to do our duties. Asamyatat mana yogo dusprapa itime mati. So without controlling our mind, asamyatat mana, without controlling our mind, yoga is impossible. Yoga is not possible. That's what Krishna is saying. Asamyatat mana yogo dusprapa itime mati. Vasyatmanatu yatato sakyo vaptum upayata. So It is not possible to become a yogi without controlling our mind. And it is not possible to become a yogi without doing our duties. So that means we should be able to do our duties with controlled mind. Then we will become yogis. That's why Aruruksher Muner Yogam Karma Karanam Uchchati. So in the same chapter, in the same slokas, nearby slokas, Krishna is talking about performing yoga, that is doing our duty, that is doing our karma, and also Krishna is talking about controlling our mind. So the both are very much important. So that means we should do our duty with controlled mind. Because this karma is very much related to our mind control. Because if our mind is under our control, then we will be able to use our karmendriyas to perform the duties. So to perform our actions, activities, duties, we can use the karmendriyas if our karma, if our karma, our mind, if our mind is steady. That's why Yastvindriyani manasa niyamya arabate Arjuna karmendriyaki karma yogam asaktaga savisisyadi. So that way, with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we will be able to focus our mind on Krishna and we will be able to control our mind. And when our mind is under our control, we will be able to do our duties for the sake of Krishna, for the satisfaction of Krishna. So without having any attachment to the results of our activities. So that way we can actually we can achieve the status of yoga. That's what achieving the status of yoga. Aruruksher Muner Yogam Karma Karanam Uchchati. So Karma Karanam. Then Yogarudasya Tasyaiva Samaha Karanam Uchchati. Once we achieve that status of yoga, Yogarudasya Tasyaiva Samaha Karanam Uchchati, then cessation of activities. Then we don't have to really perform any activities. In fact, we won't be even forced to do any activities. There is nothing binding us to do any activities. We are totally free. So we are not under the control. We are not controlled by Maya. We are not controlled by anything in this material world. We are not attached to anything in this material world. At that time, we will be completely free. So that's why Yogarudasya Tasyaiva Samaha Karanam Uchchati. In fact, when we are able to find happiness within ourselves, there is no duty, first of all, is there for us to do. Tasya karyam na vidyate. There is no karyam, there is no duty. There is nothing there for us to do. When we are able to achieve that yoga, when we are able to find happiness within ourselves. Atmarati. Yastu atmaratireva syat atma triptascha manavaga atmanyevacha santustaga tasya karyam na vidyate. So then there is no work is there for us to do. Tasya karyam na vidyate. So at that point of time we are free. And we are not responsible, we are not answerable to anyone also. So that way, this getting the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is very, very important. Because with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita only, we will be able to do everything for Krishna. So then we will be able to find happiness within ourselves. So that way, we understand that we are not the body, we are the soul. We understand that we have to perform our duties to get relieved from this material bondage. So before that, we need to get this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and we should be able to control our mind. And then with the controlled mind, we should do everything for Krishna. So all our duties. So now everything is filling. We understand everything is very clear. With this all this knowledge, everything is very clear for us that we have to do everything with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So that way Krishna is teaching in the 8th chapter that you do everything in such a way, you do it for me and then you come to me. That's it. So when we go to Krishna, we don't have to struggle, suffer. We don't have to worry about anything in this material world. And there is no more material bondage. There is no more death. So it is full of happiness there in Krishna's abode. So that way, this Bhagavad Gita is the most confidential knowledge because this kind of knowledge one can only be understood when a person is qualified to understand. So that means when a person is a devotee of Krishna, when a person believes in Krishna, without believing in Krishna, without understanding Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then how will we be able to accept or understand this Bhagavad Gita and get out of this material bondage? Because if you want to go to Krishna's abode, first of all, we need to know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Krishna is the Super Soul, and Krishna is Paramatma, and Krishna is everything, and everything comes from Krishna. So this knowledge we should know very well, without any doubt. Philosophically, we should be very, very strong in having this knowledge. So then only we will be able to realize and go to Krishna as well. With the knowledge of this Bhagavad Gita, we will be able to remember Krishna at the time of death. In order to remember Krishna at the time of death, we should know Krishna completely, fully. So the only source is Bhagavad Gita. So by studying this Bhagavad Gita, of course, afterwards, definitely we should study Srimad Bhagavatam and go through all Krishna's pastimes, because we will know more and more about Krishna, because we will be connected with Krishna completely. But with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, when we study Srimad Bhagavatam, we are going to relish, we are going to enjoy. Because we know in the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we will understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead without any doubt. So that's why this Bhagavad Gita knowledge is very, very important for us in the beginning. Because only with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, all our questions, all our doubts, everything is destroyed completely. Everything. So our ajna, so our ignorance is completely gone, completely dispelled. Our doubts, everything is completely gone. So ajnascha asraddha dhanascha. So if we are not having the faith on this Bhagavad Gita, if we are full of ignorance, if we are ignorant, then we are in trouble actually in this material world. So that's why Krishna's mercy, we are very fortunate that we are studying Bhagavad Gita and we are getting this knowledge and we are able to make progress. Daily we are able to make progress. We are able to study. For example, we started this and we are now in the 8th chapter and we are going to finish 8th chapter. And for those who joined for the first time today, there is no need to worry because I'm covering slokas from different chapters, so you can understand everything. But the point here is that we are able to make progress every day. So that is the main point. We are not stopping, and Krishna's mercy, Krishna, any action to succeed, we understand that there are totally 5 factors. So definitely we are putting efforts. So we are one of those factors. But Krishna is very much merciful upon us. Krishna is creating this opportunity for us. So because of Krishna's mercy, we are able to make progress. And we are able to study and understand every sloka in Bhagavad Gita. Everything is by Krishna's mercy. So in the 8th chapter, many slokas we studied. And Krishna taught very clearly that at the time of death, in order to remember Krishna, we should get that devotional strength, that yoga balam. So that's why this word yoga is very important in Bhagavad Gita. Yoga means we are free from attachment. That's it. We are not affected by the results. That's what yoga means. And that status we can achieve only by connecting ourselves with Krishna. Otherwise, it is not possible. Otherwise, we will have ahankara. Because otherwise, we will not have the knowledge that we are Atma. We are the soul. Otherwise, we will not have the knowledge that we are forced, we are controlled by the 3 modes of material nature. So only with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, when we connect with Krishna, we understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and we have to free ourselves from the 3 modes of material nature by surrendering unto Him. That's it. Mam eva ye pravatyante mayam yetam tarantite. So that way, in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking a lot of nice questions, excellent questions. Even this entire 8th chapter we are studying, because Arjuna asked in the very beginning very nice questions. Kim tat brahma, kim madhyatma, kim karma, purushottama, adhibhutam cha, kim proktam, adhidevam, kim uchyate, adhiyajnyaha, katam kotra, degesmin varatarsava. So, degesmin madhusudanam. So, here he asks so many nice questions. So, what is Brahma, what is Adhyatma, what is Karma, what is Adhibhuta, Adhideva, Adhiyajna, all such things. Then he asked that, Prayana kale cha katam nyeyosi niyatatma bhigi. So, how can one remember you at the time of death? How can one understand and remember you at the time of death? That's why Krishna is teaching all these things. This entire 8th chapter, now Krishna is teaching. Not only this 8th chapter, this entire 9th chapter also. 34 slokas, Krishna is continuously teaching the same thing. For just all these questions asked by Arjuna in the 8th chapter beginning, Krishna is answering everything continuously. So, if we go through all these slokas and understand very well, then we are getting the complete knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Yatakaso sthito nityam vayuga sarvatra gomahan. So this vayu, so this, everything which is going everywhere, so it is always in the akasha, always in the space. So like that, so everything is in Krishna, everything is resting on Krishna. That's what Krishna is teaching us. So Krishna, everything, we are depending on Krishna. Krishna is the only source of everything for us. So that is the knowledge we are getting in Bhagavad Gita. And of course, this knowledge can be understood only those who are not envious of Krishna. Otherwise, we will not get this knowledge. And now in the 8th chapter, Krishna is teaching us about different timings at which we will go to Krishna's well. So we know that is applicable only to the yogis. That part also we understand very well. And also we understand about Brahma's planet. Krishna is giving the knowledge about Brahma's world. So we understand about Avyakta, Vyakta also very well. Because this is a very important knowledge. We cannot get that knowledge anywhere else. And Avyakta, Vyakta. Avyakta means unmanifest, Vyakta means manifest. And in this material world, right now, when we go through that knowledge in Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna is teaching, that 4.32 billion years, we are keep on changing the bodies. It's billions of years. Billion is a very big number. So our lifetime is only a few decades here. Few means maybe 7, 8 or 9 decades, depending upon how fortunate we are. And especially if we are really fortunate, if we make use of this opportunity and study and understand Bhagavad Gita and focus everything to release ourselves from this material bondage, then our life, if like living here makes sense. Otherwise, even if we live up to 100 years, but if we have no knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then whatever we do in this world, everything will be, we are like stupids. In Krishna's eyes, we will be fools. That's what Krishna is saying. So that way, Muda. Krishna is teaching many times, Krishna is saying many times in Bhagavad Gita as Muda. So that way, in Brahma's day, which is equivalent to 4.32 billion years in this earth, so we are actually keep on changing bodies. That's what is called Vyakta. And again, another 4.32 billion years, we cannot even get a body. We won't even get a body. And that means we cannot see anything. We cannot hear anything. We cannot. Is it possible for us to imagine that kind of life, that kind of situation? Going to Krishna's well, that is a better thing. But if you get into in the dormant state, so that is even more very troublesome life, troublesome status for us. So that's what we understand in Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna is teaching us that you come to me. This is Dukkhalayam. So this is a temporary miserable place. You worship me and you become my devotee and you come to me. So that's what Krishna is teaching us. And only a devotee of Krishna can understand this Bhagavad Gita. And only way to go to Krishna's well is by getting this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So that way Krishna's mercy we are studying nicely in the 8th chapter. But the yogis, they are not confused. The yogis, Krishna is teaching here that there are two, like depending upon what time or what of the year or day we die, there are two kinds of destinations. One is either we will go to Krishna's well or we'll come back here, we'll go to moon and come back here. So, but Krishna is teaching here that is applicable only to yogis. So that is applicable only to yogis. But Krishna is saying, in fact, we understand that very well in the next sloka, what we are going to study. The sloka, what we studied yesterday in the 26th sloka in the 8th chapter, Krishna said that, Sukla Krishna gati kete jagattaga sasvate mate, ekaya yati anavritam, anyaya vartate punaka. So there are two kinds of, depending upon what time, Sukla or Krishna, so during the day or night, so that means during the waxing or waning part of the moon. So when we leave this well, so Jagattaga, so when we leave this well, So there is gati, destination. So there is two kinds of destinations. So one is we will ekaya yati anavritam. One destination if we achieve ekaya yati, we will not come back. Anyaya vartate punagam. If we go to another destination, again we will come back. That's one anyata ekaya yati anavritam anyate vartate punagam. Anyaya vartate punagam. So now in the next sloka, Krishna is teaching us in the sloka number 27 in the 8th chapter. Naite sriti partha jnanan yogi mukhyati kaschana tasmat sarveshu kalesu yoga yukto bhavarjuna. Naite sriti partha jnanan yogi. Yogi means we understand yogi. Yogi who knows these two kinds of destinations, but he is not bewildered. Na mukhyati. He is not bewildered. So, because when we become yogis, we fully depend on Krishna. We know that these are the two kinds of destinations depending upon when we die, when we leave this world. This is for yogis. But Krishna is saying that yogis are not bewildered by all these things. Because we are not affected by anything. When we work for Krishna, when we do everything for Krishna, when we have this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and when our life is dedicated only in Krishna's service, so at that point of time, we know that Krishna, he will take us to his place. There is no problem. Krishna will take care of us very well. Everything is supplied by Krishna. Everything is coming from Krishna. The energy, strength, the knowledge, intelligence, memory, everything comes from Krishna. If you are able to remember something, that is given by Krishna. If you are having the knowledge, that is given by Krishna. Even if you want to forget something, that's also given by Krishna. So, sarvasya chaham kriti sannivishte mattaka smritir jnanam apohanam cha. From me comes smriti, jnanam, apohanam, remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness. Everything is coming from me. That's what Krishna is saying. So everything when it is coming from Krishna, so if we just depend on Krishna, he is going to give us. We don't have to struggle, we don't have to worry. Krishna gives us the knowledge, Krishna gives us the intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam, I give the intelligence. Dadami buddhi. Dadami buddhi yogam yenamam upayantite. Using that intelligence, you can come to me. That's what Krishna is saying, that using that intelligence, you can come to me. Dadami buddhi yogam yenamam upayantite. So, that way, everything is coming from Krishna only. We have energy, we have strength, we are able to talk, we are able to move, we are able to walk, we are able to do everything. Because everything is coming from Krishna. Aham vaisvanaro bhutva praninam degamastitaga pranapanam samayuktaga pachamyannam chaturvidam. So, I enter into everyone's body. Aham vaisvanaro bhutva praninam degamastitaga. And I keep their breathing stable, balanced. Pranapanam samayuktaga. Both outgoing and ingoing air stable. That's why we are able to breathe. So if that process gets disturbed, like in this coronavirus, when it comes, where people normally lungs, it gets affected, then we are in trouble. We are not able to breathe. So Krishna is saying that this breathing itself is getting balanced by me only. Pranapanam samayuktaga pachamyannam chaturvidam. And I digest 4 kinds of food. We eat. The acidity in our stomach, the pH value is very low. It's about 2. So, but still, it is not eating our stomach. It is so much acidic. So that's why if when people they have that what is called gastroesophageal reflux disorder, so the valve when it opens, so then when the acid comes up, we immediately get burned. That is known as heartburn. So because Krishna is designing our stomach in such a way that it is not getting affected. So it's digesting all the food we eat, but it is not digesting the stomach. So it's a perfect science. It's a perfect machine. Actually, our stomach is a perfect machine, and our heart is a wonderful machine. It's able to receive the blood, pump the blood, and our lungs and liver, all these kidney, all these organs, they are all doing their job. And it didn't just happen by chance. Nothing happened by chance. It's happened by design. So it's all perfectly designed. And it's very nicely controlled. Everything is very nicely controlled. The autonomic nervous system, it controls everything. So even without ourselves knowing, there are so much things are happening. Our brain is so much of things are happening in our brain. So when we sleep, there are so many activities happening in our brain actually. So a lot of these things, when we sleep, our motor nervous systems, they are shut down so that we are not moving our legs and hands, but a lot of our brain is cleaning up and it's producing proteins, a lot of things is happening. So that way, we need to understand that Krishna is there, and Krishna's mercy, we are able to do everything. It's only Krishna's mercy. We cannot simply take it for granted that I am everything, I can do this or I can do that, all those things. So that's why this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita helps us to realize this fact. It helps us to realize that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Krishna is there everywhere. And by Krishna's mercy only, we are able to live every day. Our life is going on every day, every moment. We are able to breathe, we are able to eat, we are able to digest, we are able to speak, we are able to do everything is by Krishna's mercy. So by Krishna's mercy, today we successfully finished the sloka number 27 in the 8th chapter. And one more sloka, we'll finish 8th chapter tomorrow, Hare Krishna. And we will discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Guruji. We have a question from Dr. Harish Damodaran. He asked, Guruji, controlling mind is not good for scientists, poets, etc. They have to let the mind go. Creativity is impossible without letting go of the mind. So do you say yoga is not possible for that kind of people?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thanks for asking such a nice question, Prabhu. Controlling mind means you are not getting affected by the results. So if you are a scientist or poet or someone, or you want to create something, as long as you are not affected by the results, then that means your mind is controlled. So mind is not agitated. So when you are doing something, for example, a researcher is doing some research, and whatever results are there, we should not be affected. That is the main thing. So everyone is Atma, and everyone is in this material world struggling, and everyone is suffering in this material world. There is no doubt about it. Because having got this human body, and which is subjected to birth, old age, disease and death, so everyone is struggling and suffering. There is no doubt about it. One may be a researcher or poet or whatever it is. So a person wants to create things, creative, whatever it is. But we need to understand that we are struggling and we need to get out of this material world. We need to have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So it doesn't matter whether a person is this or that, but we need to have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. If you don't have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then Krishna's, as I said earlier, in Krishna's eyes, we are just fools. That's it. So that way, we can be creative. We can do a lot of things. But for that, our mind has to be like these things have no connections at all, because our mind, as long as we should be creative in remembering Krishna, creative in doing everything for Krishna, and creative in writing songs and everything related to Krishna, everything related to that only. So this writing songs or poets are doing something in this material world, doing some research to do some destroy things in this material world. These things are not really creative actually. So these things are not going to help us. We will get more and more affected by the results. When we are attached to the results, then we are bound by the results. So then we will be accumulating a lot of sins in our life. So that way, mind control is possible for everyone, and mind control is important for everyone. And Krishna is very clearly saying that without controlling mind, it is impossible to achieve the status of yoga. So without achieving the status of yoga, we are going to keep on struggle and suffer. Yogo bhavati dukkha. If we become a yogi, if we achieve the status of yoga, then our distress will be completely gone. Yogo bhavati dukkha. So that way, it is applicable for everyone, and definitely this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, controlling the mind, it is not going to stop our creativity or anything. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Guruji. So we have one more question. It is from Sarthak. So he asked, Hare Krishna Guruji, if someone takes sannyasa, that means he renounced the material world, but if his parents are sick, should he not take care of them? Till the end of our life, we are bound to some duties such as taking care of our parents or our children. Isn't taking care of our parents dharma? How renouncing our duties for spiritual path becomes right?
Thank you for asking this question, Prabhu. See, this kind of renunciation, what is sannyasa? It's not understood correctly. So we generally think that sannyasa means leaving the family, leaving the house, going renouncing even our responsibilities, family responsibilities. That is not sannyasa. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is, in the 6th chapter, 1st sloka, Krishna is defining the meaning of sannyasa. Anasridaka karma palam karyam karma karotyaga. Sa sannyasi cha yogi cha naniragniki nachakriyaga. So anasridaka karma palam. So when one is not attached to the results of the activities, anasridaka karma palam karyam karma karotyaga. He is the sannyasi. So sa sannyasi cha yogi cha. So that way, it is very important to take care of the parents. Definitely, there is no doubt about it. But we should not be attached. That is the main thing. We should be connected only with Krishna. It is possible. It is possible that we should be connected only with Krishna and take care of the parents, take care of the children, take care of the family. Everything is possible. One thing we need to understand, like as I said earlier also, that it's not we are taking care. It's only Krishna is taking care. Krishna is giving us the energy. Krishna is giving us the knowledge. Krishna is giving us the strength and power and opulence, facilities. What are all the resources? Everything is supplied. Everything is coming from God. If Krishna is not giving that, then our parents will have to take care of us, or others have to take care of us. If we get handicapped, if we are not doing well, so that way we need to understand that everything is supplied by Krishna, everything is given by Krishna. So that way, if our goal is only to please Krishna, to do everything for Krishna with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, so then we can as well, being a family member, like taking care of the parents and doing all those things, still we can serve Krishna. So that is what is called real sannyasa. That's why Krishna is saying that anasridaka karma palam karyam karma karotyaga sa sannyasi cha yogi cha naniragniki nachakriya. And also Krishna says that, as I said in the other sloka, until we achieve the yoga, until we achieve the status of yoga, we have to do our duty. We cannot sannyasa, that meaning of sannyasa, what you said is called inaction. That inaction means not doing any action. So that's what is called sannyasa. That is called sannyasa. But in the 18th chapter, 1st sloka, Arjuna asks the question about the difference between sannyasa and tyaga. One should be a tyagi. It's not a sannyasi. Tyagi means you give up the results of the activities. You are not giving up the activities, but you give up the results of the activities. So that's what is tyagi. So that way, nahi tega prita sakyam tyaktum karmani asesataka. So having obtained this body, we cannot give up the activities completely. It is not possible. We cannot renounce the activities completely. Nahi tega prita sakyam tyaktum karmani asesataka. Yastu karma palatyagi satyagi iti abhidiyate. So one who is able to renounce the fruits of the activities, karma palatyagi. So that means renouncing the attachment to the results. That also I say many times, that we don't even have to renounce the results. We don't even have to give up the results. Krishna is asking us only to give up the attachment to the results. So then if we are able to give up the attachment to the results, and then still we take care of the parents, take care of the family members, all these responsibilities, if we do it, we are not going to be bound. We are already a sannyasi, as Krishna says. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Guruji. We are to the end of the questions.
Yes.
I will unmute the participants one by
Krishna, Guruji.
Yes, please.
Guruji, is regarding the dieting, Guruji.
Yeah.
It's like the saying, like even I heard from a lot of like gurus on YouTube also I have heard it. Like if you're a normal person, like they'll eat thrice a day, and like a normal person, and Bogi is a person who eats twice a day, and Yogi is a person only once he will have in a day the meal. Is it true, Guruji? Like or that we have to follow this way?
Again, everything we need to everything decide based on Bhagavad Gita only, Prabhu. So for us, Bhagavad Gita, whatever about eating, whatever said in Bhagavad Gita only, we need to refer to. So Krishna is not, in fact, really giving the how many meals you eat, all such things. But Krishna is teaching us very clearly that one should not eat too little, one should not eat too much. So na ati asnatastu yogosti nachaikantam anasnataka. Nacha ati swapna silasya jagrato naiva charjuna. So that way, one should eat enough. That means that normally we are eating 3 times, but we understand that when we are eating, it should not be too much. That is the main thing. And at the same time, it should not be too little also, Krishna is saying that. Because we need energy for the body. We need enough energy for the body. We need all the nutrients, everything are needed in our body to. So that way, this eating and sleeping also, one should not sleep too much, one should not sleep too little. So both these things are very important. And Krishna said that na ati asnatasti yogosti nachaikantam anasnataka nacha ati swapna silasya jagrato naiva charjuna. Means if a person eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or sleeps too little, then he cannot achieve the status of yoga. In order to achieve the status of yoga, we should be able to control our diet and sleep. So that much if we can do. And another thing about eating, Krishna is saying that whatever you eat, you offer it to me. And if you offer it to me and eat it as prasadam, you will be freed from all sins. Otherwise, we are eating only sins. That's what Krishna is teaching us. So about the eating in the mode of goodness, passion and ignorance also in the 17th chapter, Krishna is teaching. So that way, for your question, whatever about that, Bogi, Yogi, all such things is not given in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is not giving in Bhagavad Gita. I don't know if it is given somewhere else, but our goal is only restrict everything to Bhagavad Gita. Restrict means we don't have time to really explore. And Krishna also is saying, if you know this Bhagavad Gita, you will come to me. So that way, we will just focus only on Bhagavad Gita. Yes. You got it, Prabhu? Babu, Prabhu?
Oh, okay, Guruji, I got it. Thank you, Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. I'm unmuting Hina. Hina, you can talk.
Mataji, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You understood everything, Mataji?
Yeah. Everything I'm understanding, but lots of practice is needed from my side.
What did you say, Mataji? Lots of?
Hina, if you can talk little louder, it will be.
Can you listen?
Yes, Mataji. I'm able to hear.
Am I audible?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, you are audible. You were saying something, lots of something you said. I did not get it.
She said lots of practice, Guruji.
Yeah. Bhagavad Gita knowledge will lead us to practice. Definitely, this knowledge will help us. So right now, we don't have to worry about anything. We just have to get this knowledge and give this knowledge. That's it. All other things will automatically, it will just follow us. Krishna's mercy. We should make as many devotees as possible. So that is the main practice we need to do.
Sure, Guruji. Thank you so much. I'm unmuting Munmun. Munmun, you can talk with Guruji.
Properly what you explained today. So no doubts from my side, and I don't have any questions for today.
Concentrate our mind.
What we can do our mind, Prabhu? What did you say? How?
We can concentrate our mind.
How we can concentrate, correct?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. They're chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra only, Prabhu. This is a practical process Krishna is teaching. Krishna, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago. This Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that is the mantra we need to say, Prabhu. I already got that video. I still couldn't send it. I will send it to our group. Yes, Prabhu. Prabhupada is giving the meaning of this Hare Krishna mantra. So yes, Prabhu. So we need to chant that Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So that is called Maha Mantra. So that way, when we are chanting, our mind should focus on that sound vibration. So that's the way to focus, Prabhu, concentrate.
Sir, is there any timing or any time we can set?
Not there is no fixed timing and all. Anytime you can do it, but Krishna is recommending. Not recommending. Krishna is very clearly instructing. Krishna is teaching us that the place, we need to select a place, and you need to clean the place. Make sure that the place is very clean. Make sure that that place is very secluded. So it's a secluded and clean place. So that is the main thing. Yogi injita sadatam atmanam ragasisthitaga. Ragasis means secluded place. And that means no disturbance. And then suchau deshe pradishtapya. There should be a suchau deshe. Suchau means clean. So then sit and chant. Not like some devotees, normally they walk and they will travel and everywhere they will carry chanting, bead bags, chant and all. That is good. We can try to remember Krishna all the time. That is very nice. But we should not count those chanting with the chanting what Krishna is here instructing. That sit straight and don't look at any other directions, and make sure the body, neck and head, everything stays in the straight line, and then chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So that is the way. And the timing, the better time is in the morning, Prabhu, like Brahma Muhurta time. So that is in the morning between 4 to 6, or even if it is a little late, it's fine. But in the morning, when before everybody gets up, before a lot of noise is produced, so if we chant, it will be very nice, Prabhu. So because at that time we should be hearing only this vibration, we should not be hearing any other noise. So that's why that is the best time. Because during other daytime and all, when you want to do, there will be a lot of other disturbances, other noise we will be hearing. So we want to purely hear only this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, this transcendental sound vibration. Yes, Prabhu.
Is there any number of count restriction?
Yes, Prabhu. So Srila Prabhupada has recommended that the chanting bead, the chanting mala has got 108 beads. So each round, when you do that, it is one time. If you finish 108, you call it as one round. So you need to do it 16 rounds. So it roughly takes around close to 1.5 hours for 1 hour 30 minutes or so. So 16 rounds you need to do every day. So every morning, if you are able to do that, life will be very blissful. But we will be able to definitely control the mind. So that is the practice. Yes.
Is there any other restriction or anything else?
There are no hard and fast rules as far as this chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is concerned. As Krishna is teaching in Bhagavad Gita, and that's what I already explained to you. Only follow those things and then chant, Prabhu. Then eating, sleeping and all we need to control. So if you are chanting, eating, sleeping, all those things are all controlled. So then our life will go very peaceful. We will be able to achieve the status of yoga, Prabhu.
Thank you, sir.
Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you for asking these nice questions, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Guruji. I see Lakshmi Krishna. Lakshmi Krishna, I'm unmuting you. You can unmute and talk with Guruji. Okay. I think I'll unmute Manikandan Nambisan. Manikandan Nambisan.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hello.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
I want to ask, but you clear my doubt. But if chanting 16 times, I can't do at a stretch. So what to do, sir?
Yeah, that's why that is, if you are not able to do, then you can split. Any time of the day also you can do. In the evenings also you can do 4 rounds, whatever way, whatever is convenient, you can split and try to do. That's why there are no hard and fast rules. So there is the timing, because he was asking, I was explaining the morning time, Brahma Muhurta.
It's a 4 to 6. It is working, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
But I can't spend at least 1 hour at that time.
That is correct.
Yes, sir. That's why
In
I'm
the
asking.
beginning, especially in the beginning, start with 4 or 6. Yeah, then we can, after we stabilize that, then we can go up more. Yes. Yeah. That's the main thing.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
So
Thank
you
you,
are
sir.
connecting from which place? From where you are connecting, Madan?
I'm from Salem, sir.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm teaching in Tamil also. If you're interested, you can join that also.
Okay, sir. Okay.
It's just I'm
But the
informing.
timings at the evening, sir?
Evening 6 p.m. Evening 6 p.m.
Oh,
Same,
okay, sir.
same link. If you're interested, I can add you into that WhatsApp group also.
Okay, sir. Thanks. You can.
Yeah, if you can give, type your number in the chat box, then I can add you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Because there was no technology, nothing. If you are staying in one place in the same village or same house, then they won't be able to deliver this knowledge. So that's why they were moving to different places by walk and all. They were leaving the house and all those things. But now Krishna's mercy, all this technology is so nice. If this technology was there at that time, they would have done even much better service. Even Srila Prabhupada 50 years ago, he did so much revolutionary way. He brought this Bhagavad Gita and he made so many devotees. If this technology was there at that time, he would have made even many more devotees. So now we get the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Our goal is to give this knowledge to everyone. And for that, you can just, from wherever you are, you can, by doing all your duties, you can still do it. Correct, Prabhu? So it's, yes, Prabhu.
Which is the best one, Guruji? So doing our duties and remembering and offering it to the God, or leaving everything and just remembering the God and spreading the message. Both are, both the ways you will be spreading.
It all depends upon how you can do, Prabhu. So it is nothing, we cannot say that one is best and another is not best, not like that. See, whatever it is, we are doing it for Krishna. There are Varnashrama systems. The ashrama, 4 ashramas are there. There is Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. So from Brahmachari, sometimes devotees directly they become Sannyasa also. That means they don't go through Grihastha and Vanaprastha. Or most of the time, many devotees, they will take this Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. But even if a person is a Grihastha, also at the end, he will also become a Sannyasa. Sannyasa means we are going to renounce everything at the end, because there is no point in keeping attached to everything when we get very old, like when we get 60s, 70s and all. So it's better to prepare ready to go to Krishna's well, correct? We don't have to get connected with this material well. We should start forgetting everything in this material well when we get old. So that is called sannyasa. At that time, real sannyasa can be possible. We can renounce everything, because anyhow we are going to leave everything. But it all depends, Prabhu. There is nothing like you can say really which is best and all. It's all whether which one you can do yourselves best. You can select and do it, Prabhu. That's all. The ultimate goal is to do it everything for Krishna. That is the main thing.
Yeah, I think the moment, the ability to work and contribute to the country or family, till the time we can contribute and remembering the God and
contribute to the efforts of preaching Bhagavad Gita. That is the main thing, Prabhu. We need to make many devotees. That is the main thing. Means there are many devotees are there. We need to identify and teach them Bhagavad Gita. That service we need to do very well, Prabhu.
Yeah, that is it.
That is the only service we need to do, Prabhu. That is the only service, Krishna's service, Prabhu. We don't have to think about anything else.
Yeah.
All of us, if we ask what we should do for Krishna, spread this Krishna's message. That is the only thing, nothing else.
Thank you so much, Guruji. I see TML Shankar Prabhu. I'm unmuting you. You can talk with Guruji.
Guruji, I am new to the Bhagavad Gita. If you have any PDF means send to group, sir. And how
Yeah.
to start read starting onwards.
Yeah, Bhagavad Gita as it is like vedabase.io. You go to website vedabase.io.
Okay.
VEDA.
Veda based.
Yeah, vedabase.io.
Oh, okay, Guruji.
So there actually you can get Bhagavad Gita as it is book. You can go through it, Prabhu. I'm typing in that website. vedabase.io. So there you can get the Bhagavad Gita as it is.
Okay, Guruji. Starting onwards, so actually I am the new to the Bhagavad Gita, Swami.
Yeah, you can start from beginning. You can go through it, read it as well.
No, Namaste, Guruji. Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu. Krishna's mercy.
But my question is, we are keep on saying that we are not the body, we are the soul. Of course, even Lord Krishna, emphasizes and confirms that. Then when I say that I'm not the body and the soul only is controlling me or directing me to what to do, then whatever actions I am doing, then again we say that it is not done by you, it is the creation of the Lord Krishna.
Yeah.
So don't we think these two are contradictory to each other? One side I am saying everything is written and God only gives me even thoughts and energy and even anything you name it. Then other side I am saying without human effort and force you will not achieve anything, even studying Bhagavad Gita or listening to Bhagavad Gita or understanding Bhagavad Gita. So one side we are saying that very clearly without God's thing we cannot do anything. Then other side again we are saying that without human intention and effort nothing will happen on its own.
It is correct, Prabhu. Both are needed. So that way your question itself is answering. Because there are 5 factors for any action to succeed. So in the 18th chapter we will study that at length. So Panchaitani Mahabahu Karanani Nibodame Sankhye Kritante Proktani Siddhaye Sarva Karmana. So Panchaitani. So Sarira Man Manobhigi Yat Karma Prarabhate Naraga Nyayam Va Viparitam Va Panchaite Tasya Hetava. So whether it's a Nyayam Va Viparitam Va, whether it's a good right activity or wrong activity, whatever it is, whatever we do with Sarira Man Manobhigi, with our body, with our mind, with our voice, with our speech. So whatever activity we do, all these 5 factors have to come together for it to succeed. So that we are one factor, and even in that one factor, we are only desiring. The activity is done by the 3 modes of material nature. We are not the doer. The doer is the Maya. So Karta is the performer. So Karta is actually, we are not the doer, it's the Maya is doing it, but we are desiring it. We are getting attachment to it. So that's why Maya is doing it. So that way, the soul is not doing anything because we want it. See, we are like a machine, probably. It's like a machine. So Atma is inside this body, like a machine. And the car is there. And when you are driving, okay, the driver is driving the car, correct? So like that, here Maya is doing the duty. The 3 modes of material nature is forcing us to do the duty. It is not that we are doing it. We think that we are doing it, but we are not doing it. Actually, it is done by the 3 modes of material nature. Karya, Karana, Kartrutve, Hetugu, Prakritruchyate. Purushaga, Sukadukkana, Bhoktrutve, Hetugu Uchyate. So all the duty, everything is created by the Prakriti, but we are actually thinking that we are the doer. But Krishna, for our body, even for the Prakriti, for the Maya to do the duty, our body needs to have energy and all such things, knowledge and everything. So that is given by Krishna only. So what I'm saying is that because everything, the soul is just a passenger sitting in this body. So the only thing what we are doing is that we are suffering or enjoying. That's it. Purushaga Sukadukkana Bhoktrutve Hetugu Uchyate. That is because of our false ego, because of our ahankara. Once we realize that and we give up that ahankara, then Maya will not be forcing us to commit any sins. Then we will be freed. So at that point of time, we will be enjoying. So when we are focusing our mind and remembering Krishna all the time, if we are Krishna consciousness, remembering Krishna all the time, then we are happy. Our mind is very peaceful. Our mind is not agitated. When we are material conscious, when we think about all the time sense objects, then we are in trouble. So that's what is happening. You understand, Prabhu? Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
TML Shankar.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
You understand to certain extent, correct, Prabhu?
Yeah.
But when we study this again and again, this Bhagavad Gita completely, you will fully understand it, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Thank you, Guruji. I'm unmuting Vipin Singh. I'm unmuting you. You can talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it was my first day today, and it was